Hey everybody, welcome to Mahoning Matters interviews. I'm editor Chris Pugh. We like to use this time just for talking to interesting people around the area or from the area. And it's always good to have somebody come back to the area. Taylor Borton, I'm sorry. She's from Youngstown and she's kind of went to Nashville, became a singer-songwriter, and she's excited to come back and play some shows back in the area. She will be at Birdfish Brewing in Columbiana, Lake Milton, the Halliday Winery, and the Iron Man Grill in Girard upcoming. So, wanted to talk about our upcoming shows. Taylor, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat about these and, just be back home. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what's Nashville like? How difficult is it? Obviously, you had a singing background. You came down to make it big. How hard is it to make it big in Nashville once you moved down there?
Well, it's like you're in this big city and everybody is trying to do the same exact thing that you're doing. So,
Okay.
part of it I feel like is very um almost makes you want to compete with people to be like, "Oh, I do this," or "I'm more unique in this way," but it's honestly for me better to be surrounded by it all the time because it motivates you more and everybody's very like on your side as compared to competitive with you because we all know
Yeah.
it is. So comparing it to when I played a lot of shows when I lived in Youngstown, it is much more motivating and inspiring watching everyone else than just kind of being one in the few in a town doing it. So it's cool.
Well, and you've alluded to this, but I think you've kind of learned from other people too, right? So maybe you go to a friend's show and you sit there and say, "Wow, it's neat how they do this. Maybe I'll do that too," right?
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Going and learning from each other and getting new ideas. And that person might know this person. It's all about connections here. That is the number one thing. And you're just in the middle of all of it. So you never know who knows who or who you're going to meet. So that's really cool too.
Every time I'm in Nashville, it's crazy. I mean, Youngstown's great for local music. We have more venues here where you
Mhm.
can listen to local music, but Nashville, it's like Youngstown steroids. It's like everywhere there's a live music venue. That's got to be really kind of crazy when you first went down there, right?
There's something to do literally 24/7. I mean,
Okay.
a lot of people that visit just think of Broadway and downtown, so they just automatically go down there and are pushed into the chaos. But there's a lot of more local music scenes in the kind of, I don't know if suburbs the right word, but the kind of off the beating path of Broadway, and that's kind of where all the writers and higher ups, I guess, in the industry pretty much hang out. So we're never really on Broadway ever.
How I've seen lately in country music, it's so different now. Like there's all kinds of different styles. You have your own unique style. I mean, heck, what was it? Beyonce came out with a country album and everything.
Yeah.
Is that good to have all kinds of different country where it's got to be it, it's got to keep everything compelling. But do you think that's good for country to see all kinds of different styles and things kind of come in? It seems to be very diverse and different than it may have been, 10, 20 years ago.
And honestly, I think traditional country is going to make its way back in and kind of grow over all of the little different styles of country over the next couple of years. But I think when you put it like seeing these other artists like Beyonce get into the country playlists and everything, then you have her fans listening to other country artists' music. So it's kind of helping us as country artists to get in the other fans of other genres, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I feel like it's more
Yeah.
beneficial not.
Yeah, so it kind of opens up to new fans that may not have understood country music in the past. Then, well,
Exactly.
that's got to be good too, right? You can grow and everything. Um, Talk about your music. From what I see in your bio, you have your own distinctive style. How did you come to that style? Was that kind of an effort to say, "Hey, country's my thing, but I want to kind of be myself in country," or how did you come to your style of music?
Yeah, well, I've always listened to country music and always kind of liked the storytelling of the traditional country music to be specific. And personally, one of my favorite songwriters was always John Prine, and he was in that category of more like singer songwriter and Americana, if you will put it that way. And so then I was like, like, what does that mean? And are there other artists that sound like him? And then I found like Lori McKenna, who does a lot of the writing for him when he was here. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but his music lives on. So
Mhm.
then I have started listening to those other artists and writers and just enjoyed writing like them and fitting into that little different unique style of rather than just pop country and traditional, because I feel like I'm a little mix of Americana and traditionally pop country. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it because a lot of people will be like, yeah, it's different, but like, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I just started singing, and I get a lot of nice compliments of that my voice is unique in a way or has like a rasp to it. And it's like, that's just how it comes out. Like, I didn't personally try to do that or anything, but it just kind of worked in my favor, I guess.
How hard you're young, but how hard is the music industry now? Like I've covered the industry for about 20 years, and the people I used to interview, it was back in the day of all right, you're signed to a label. That was the big thing. And how many CDs can you sell? That was the big thing. But now everything's so different. Is there an advantage of being young now where it sounds like an older artist may have to make a huge adjustment, and now you're kind of like, hey, I'm just doing what I know now, the new style. It seems to be tougher for older artists to kind of transition to this like streaming and everything else.
Yeah.
Has it been easier for you since you're younger, or
Um, I think it's more of being popular than your age. Because, like, if you're in your 20s and you know how to get a lot of like followers on like TikTok or Instagram and you get those numbers up, everything here is just number based. So whether you have a good song, whether you can sing very well, that's not the first thing they're looking for. They're looking to see how many followers you have. And if you're like 60 years old and just so happen to be really good at social media and have a lot of followers, they're always going to look at numbers over, I think, age or talent, to be honest.
do they look at like plays too?
Yeah,
So I was like, if you have more
all
TikTok
those
followers, that's a big deal. Okay.
That's always going to be
Okay.
the first they check. Yeah. Which I'm
Is,
very unfortunate because you know, I am more of like put my stuff in a newspaper or hang
yeah.
my poster on a telephone pole and come out, like rather than being good at social media or posting all the time. So that is definitely something I'm going to get better at. But it's it's all about the luck too. If you have a viral video, that could either die out in a day or a week, or it could live on for like 10 years. You just don't know.
Well, I think the thing that's nice about it is like now with mainstream journalism, we're all online now. Where I remember when I first started interviewing people, it was like, okay, hopefully they'll read your story in the paper and then they'll go buy a CD. Now, you can click a link on an article, or if you embed the YouTube or TikTok, you can get plays that way. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit there too. How often do you get back to Youngstown? Do you still have a lot of family in the area, or how does that work?
Yeah, so my parents, my brother are all still there. I mean, majority of my like close family is still there. I try to get back like every 6 months or so at least, usually
Oh,
holidays like in December and everything. And then I'd like to come back in the summer because it's much more pleasant when it's warm.
yes,
So
yeah, very warm time.
usually twice a year, but hopefully I can get there a little bit more this year, and they usually come up and visit me, so I see them a little bit more than I'm there, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Well, and I see your dates, and we'll have the dates and all the links and everything on our story. But you've got a couple shows coming up June 29th, July 4th, July 6th. Is it always a challenge that you want to go up to see your family, but you probably want to play a local show or two? Does that make your visits kind of tough when you go back to Youngstown? There's probably a lot to do then, right?
Um, I almost prefer it because my parents are very supportive and like just them, like they always like to come out and sit at the
Oh,
show. They honestly don't see some of their friends for a while until I'm in town and have my shows, so everybody comes. So I feel like it brings us all together more than it wouldn't if I didn't play them.
what's a hometown show like? Is it different than a show you might do around Nashville? I mean, what can people expect to see if they come check out one of these shows?
It's I get a different feel and vibe myself playing them because I think people appreciate it more because they're not surrounded by it or could go see music 24/7 like you can in Nashville, you know? So you have people out there that are actually paying attention and listening to the songs and want to come up and speak after to kind of ask why I moved and how it's going because they're just more curious than the average, oh, we're in Nashville, there's another singer, songwriter playing a song, you know? So I think they just appreciate it more. So it's more fun because they're more involved.
You probably get to tell some more hometown stories. Maybe somebody will ask you about what do you think about this or something like that.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right. Very cool. What's your advice for somebody out there? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of local people who sing, and they might be like, "Man, I wish I could be like Taylor." What's your advice to people? Like, what's the next step people can take there, are kind of in the mix but looking to take the next step?
Well, my biggest word of advice would probably be just do it. You're gonna hear a lot of, oh, I always get you're too young for this, and you being a female can't do this or that. So personally, I've definitely got that often. Some people might be like, oh, I'm too old, or they just don't like my style. It's like really just do what you want to do and just own it. And you'll find your fan base somehow because there's so much that people like that's so different that, if you have a good song and are entertaining, that someone's going to like it. So it doesn't really matter. Just do what you want to do.
It's the best way people can support you. So I mean, it's a couple of free shows up there. Definitely, I'm sure people can go to your concerts, but if somebody can't go or say, man, how can I financially support her? What's the best thing people could do now to help you out?
Yeah, merch is the best thing. I have my CDs on my website at taylorbortonmusic.com. And I also have a link to like a virtual tip jar, like Venmo or PayPal, just to help me out between rent and just living out here is crazy. And just getting the songs tracked and produced is more of a chunk of money than you would think and that I would like to say.
Imagine, yeah, yeah, awesome. And you got 5 singles out there. Your next song is coming out in August. Lyrics in my head. Are you excited about that one?
So that one, the bio, I definitely need to get it updated. Came out as of last August, so I'll be coming up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But now that you said that, that's kind of crazy that I'm already coming up on the year of it.
Okay.
I had released an EP, and that was the title track off of it. And this year, I kind of took a step back of releasing any music, and I've just been focusing more on writing. And my goal right now is getting a pub deal to kind of, make an income off of the writing and start pitching songs to other artists and kind of see what sticks. But next year, I plan to try to release music at least monthly or every other month to get rolling.
Cool.
Yeah,
So your EP from last year will be your new music that you're performing, or your current music you're performing then, right?
correct. Yeah. So
Oh
I
yeah, cool. Definitely.
out and yeah, it's fun.
Well, that's great. You're going for a pub deal. I hear that's where people can really support themselves from the other people I talk to. So, all right. Well, Taylor, great talking to you. So, again, Taylor Borton, let me read these right. I'm reading these too quickly. June 29th, you're coming back to Youngstown, Birdfish Brewing in Columbiana. You'll have the show there. July 4th, Holiday Winery, right, in Lake Milton. And July 6th, Iron Man Grill in Girard. So, very good. Have you played these places before?
So Birdfish I've played at a few times, and
Cool.
the guy that puts this specific night together has lived in Nashville and had like moved back. So we've always been good friends, and he's putting on more of like a writers round, which is
Oh, wow.
Nashville. So you will get a taste of us taking turns playing our original songs, which is a little bit different than the other two shows. Because the one on July 4th, I'm excited for since it's on the lake on the 4th. It'll be really fun. Is more of like covers and originals of me playing with my steel player for 2 hours. So that'll be fun. I've never been there. And Girard, the Iron Man Grill one, is kind of the same setup with my steel player for 2 hours, and I've never been there either. So those two I'm excited for because they're new, and then Birdfish is just always fun and is always full. So
Yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, go check it out. Taylor, it's been fantastic to have you on. Hang out for a second afterwards, and thanks for checking out Mahoning Valley's interviews. Have a great day, everybody.